Hello! This is James. The ranked season has rolled over, and I am no longer King of Games, so this needs to go away for a brief period, and it only means that I must begin my climb anew. Naturally, I want to use the Sylvans deck because they are very powerful and very fast, but Sylvans lacks the oomph that they had when they very first came out, because now everybody is wisely suspicious of a set face-down monster with no back row, as well they should be. So we need to kind of throw the opponent off the scent of our Sylvan mill monsters. So what we're going to use as a distraction is the skill Middle-Aged Mechs. Middle-Aged Mechs is going to give us the Ancient Gear Castle spell card that accumulates counters and lets us normal summon Ancient Gear monsters. And there's no way that anybody would be playing anything but a pure Ancient Gear deck with the Middle-Aged Mech skill, or are they, James? So this deck combines Sylvan monsters, the speed, and the versatility with just the sheer overwhelming might of our Ancient Gear beasts. So we have 3 Ancient Gear Golems. Does piercing damage and blocks spell trap cards when it attacks. Mushroom, he's a mill monster, and when he is milled, he pops a spell or trap. Rose Lover can be banished, and special summons plants such as Sylvan Hermitry. Sylvan Hermitry can excavate 1 card once per turn, and when it is excavated, you reorder the top 3 cards in your deck. So with Sylvan Hermitry, you kind of need to think, basically what you're looking for with Sylvan Hermitry is Marshall Leafs. That's the thing that you're focusing on is your Marshall Leafs. But you also need to be aware of, can you get a Carrot Lover out? Are your magical merchants going to be able to mill cards into your other traps? That kind of thing. So it's not as on the rails as playing with Guardio. We have 1 backup Ancient Gear Beast with our Ancient Gear Beast. It shares the Ancient Gear Golem effect of blocking spell traps until the end of the damage step, and it's good in the mirror matchup by chewing up magical merchants and blocking their effect, because it negates the effect of an opponent's monster destroyed by battle. We have 1 Carrot Lover for the Rose Lover, Carrot Lover trade that is the trademark of the Sylvans. We have Marshall Leaf, he can excavate 2, and when he is excavated, he pops a monster. Magical Merchant, our cheapskate mill alternative to Sylvan Mushrumo, and some back row. Sylvans never get back row, and it's gonna further pad the illusion that this is not a Sylvan's deck, and in addition to being useful. So we have Mirror Wall of Disruption. I basically think these are interchangeable, but then again I only have 1. And then our standard protection back row. So with our Middle-Aged Mechs card, a skill activating, a set back row, and a face down mill monster, to the opponent it's going to look exactly like the customary Ancient Gear opening play from a couple months ago, which is the Man-Eater Bug. It's going to look like Man-Eater Bug and like an econ, and you're preparing the field for the advent of your Ancient Gear Golem. But people aren't really as afraid of Man-Eater Bug anymore, and so they'll go ahead and attack into it because we have a lot of ways to special summon monsters. Like, for example, if it's water, they could just banish. If it's Archfiends, they can revive with Call of the Archfiend. All that kind of stuff is going to cause people to more likely to attack into your face-down mill monster than they otherwise would. And the reason we're playing 21 cards is to give our back row cards some space for Magical Merchant. In 20 cards, they're all kind of bunched up together, and Magical Merchant isn't free to spread his arms. Okay, let's look at some replays. Just move me over, just like that, and let us begin. Our first replay is against Seto Kaiba, and it is not the Hazy's deck. It's been a while since I faced a Kaiba that is not using the Hazy beatdown. We're going first, and this deck is good. It's indifferent to going first or second. And actually, I think first is a little better, because then you start getting counters on your Ancient Gear Castle that much sooner. So there's our Mana Eater Bug. But since he used the restart skill, we saw all of his. See, these are all of his Sylvan cards. So this is in fact a mirror matchup. We go ahead and castle, because if this is a castle into the golem, because if this is a magical merchant, then we have a strong attempt at game, piercing damage into the merchant, and then if he doesn't get any martial leaves, Carrot Weight Champion finishes him off. But it's a Ko Mushroom. He activates Desert Sunlight so that he can flip up the Ko Mushroom. He gets a Guardioak. He gets a Merchant, a Monster Reincarnation, a Rose Lover, and another Ko Mushroom up. So tributing your castle was the correct play, and we get a bunch of damage on him. I forgot how fun and useful piercing damage was. Normal summons the Martial Leaf. Martial Leaf gives him another Martial Leaf, and can you guess what target he's gonna pick? He's gonna pick the Ancient Gear Golem, and then special summon with Rose Lover, the Carrot Lover, which is just the opposite of how that's supposed to work. Let me show you the true Rose Lover, Carrot Lover play. We're gonna trade Rose Lover for Carrot Lover. We're gonna banish Rose Lover for our Big Plant, and we still have a normal summon. Big Plant is going to excavate a Martial Leaf, not that we need it. Martial Leaf pops his own, use our normal summon for the 1500 damage. We're not going to use the big one, we're not going to use the Carrot Lover, we're going to finish you off with our own Martial Leaf. Okay. This next match is against Mako Tsunami, and this is one that's more funny than informative, and it's exactly how you should not play a water deck. Do not do what this guy is not doing. Or please do what this person is not doing. Okay, so Mythic Depths, and we're going first. So we get middle-aged mechs. And please be aware that with Umi on the field, all machine-type monsters lose attack and defense of 200 points. So that affects your Ancient Gears. We're going to... Oh, we're going second. We're going to try and get some mills. I'm trying to get some Rose Lovers with my Sylvan Martial Leaf. Because actually what I'm anticipating is the Golden Flying Fish deck. It is not the Golden Flying Fish deck. It's the big fish deck. It's a Legendary Ocean. He normal summons a Hammer Shark. Hammer Shark special summons the now level 3 Abyss Soldier. Abyss Soldier is going to get rid of my Ancient Gear Castle, removing the counters, and he special summons the Whale. So this deck is still weak to water. The normal Sylvan deck is also weak to water, but it has the advantage of speed. But the Ancient Gears, they slow things down a little bit, but they give us power. Now, we see what's going to happen. We know what he did wrong. He didn't wait on the Sea Stealth attack. If you get your Sea Stealth attack out, you just wait. You just wait a turn and then activate it, and now all your monsters are safe. But he chose to attack into the Sylvan monster, because Sylvans never play back row, ever. We should just hurry up and get them off the field, because there's no back row. There is back row. The mighty whale is laid low by the grass-type monster, and we have our quick victory. So, always sit on the sea stealth attack. I really cannot think of a reason why you would not do that. Next replay, we're going to have real replays from now on. Our next replay is against Taya Gardner. This is a mill deck. Really long Japanese name. And I haven't seen a mill Taya in a while. It's always using her standby skill to get an extra card for some kind of weird goofy deck. You know, besides a mill deck. So we have our mill monster, and we have our martial leafs, and we have our ancient gear golems. She doesn't attack our mill monster because that's not what mill decks do. We activate our magical merchant. Magical merchant mills hermitry, carrot lover, rose lover. That's good. Golem, we already have 2 in our hand. Another rose lover, our 3rd rose lover, perfection, and finally we draw our curse of Anubis. Hermitry reorders the cards, and that faint plan, that means mill deck. Activate the castle to give us golem, so that we can get some piercing damage through the mill monsters. Not this turn because of faint plan, but next turn. We want to use up our normal summon, and she activates another faint plan, so no attacking. Use up the normal summon. I don't want to mill more monsters with Sylvan Martial Leaf. I want to use it as tribute for, not Hermitry, my 2nd Gear Golem. Salt on GHQ. Worm mills a bunch of cards. But because Worm is not a true mill, it does you don't draw cards, it sends the cards from the deck to the graveyard. So we tribute for our Gear Golem, and then we special summon with Rose Lover. Now, I must stress, the normal Sylvan deck would not be able to deal with this mill deck because they don't do piercing damage. They would have just run out of cards and that would have been the end of it. Piercing damage onto the Worm, and then piercing damage onto the Hero's Shadow Scout. We didn't even need Sylvan Hermitry. He's just there for decoration. Weren't expecting that overwhelming power. Now, this brave soul, this Jesse Anderson, is playing Jesse Anderson's theme monsters. He's playing Crystal Beasts on the ranked ladder, and I don't understand him, but I do respect his spirit. We are going 2nd. And we don't get our mill monster, but it looks like he bricked as well. So we are going to get our castle, and we're going to try and get some mills. Martial Leaf gives us 2, up to 2, and we mill 2 Hermitries. That is suckage. But we reorder the top of the deck. I forget what I reordered. We're gonna see. Parallel Twister gets rid of the Econ and destroys the Martial Leaf. Oh, there. I gave myself a Magical Merchant, and then normal summon a Carrot Lover. Because obviously I would have gotten the Golem if I was able to. The castle only had 1 counter on it. Normal summons the Pegasus, gets the Topaz Tiger, and now he's gonna clear. This is the good play of this deck. Is the Crystal Beast, the Pegasus gives you free Storm Fodder to clear back row. And it's a good move. He gets rid of my castle and my Wall of Disruption. Ties that bind, lets him just squeak out over the Carrot Lover. But Carrot Lover revives because we don't have our Rose Lovers. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of Hermitries in the graveyard. So we go ahead and trade the Hermitry for Carrot Lover and attack into the 1800 attack point Pegasus. And also, this is cool in this deck. He's using Rock Spirit because a lot of the, well, Pegasus is a wind, but Topaz Tiger and Amber Mammoth are earth types. So you special summon this monster by banishing earth monsters from the graveyard. So you have your Topaz Tiger in the spell and trap card zone. You storm him off, and then you can special summon Rock Spirit by banishing him from the graveyard. So you're getting triple value off of your Crystal Beast monsters. You're getting you're getting a monster, and then when it dies, you get Storm fodder, and then you get Rock Spirit fodder for your special summon. So he's trying to swarm with Ties That Bind. But we have back row in this Sylvan deck. Still feels weird. We attack the Topaz Tiger because that's the big threat. And we set our mill monster. He gets out another Pegasus. He's going to go for Ties That Binds again. But we are going to Windstorm of Etiquette and cut that off. Now here we get our mill. Golem. Rose Lover. That would be good. Martial Leaf. That's great. Gear Beast. And a Golem. Okay, so we got the Rose Lover, and we got the Martial Leaf, and we got another Rose Lover, and we got a third Rose Lover, and then there's a second Martial Leaf, so it goes all the way to the bottom. Now, we didn't need the two Martial Leaves. We had the Golem in hand. We could tribute, but it's nice to see them. I like seeing my Martial Leaves when I'm playing a Sylvans deck. So we clear his field, and then we tribute for the Golem for that tribute duel assessment, and 3,000 damage, direct attack, shatter the crystal. Here's our final replay, and I have saved the best for last. We are playing the realest of free-to-play decks, playing against, that is. Against a player named Yoshi. And she is playing My Valentine. And we're going first, which is good. We get our full bluff out. And here we're going to be able to do it. So we have our castle, we have our face down Man-Eater Bug, and our curse. So aliens, they don't care about Man-Eater Bug, so she's going to attack, and it will be rebuffed, and we're going to get our mill off. So 5 cards, so we get a Golem, an Insect, a Windstorm, and a Wall of D. Alright, which is, and another Insect, which is pretty horrible. That's really bad, and now all of those good cards are at the bottom of the deck. A Golem, and 2 good traps, and the other 2 mill monsters. So we're going to go for another mill with Sylvan Martial Leaf. We get Carrot Lover, and we get Rose Lover, which is just perfect. So Carrot Lover, we're going to trade out the Coal Mushroom, and Rose Lover is going to banish and give us Hermitry, and Hermitry is going to give us 1 mill, and that gives us another Rose Lover, which is always nice. Carrot Lover is going to go ahead and storm the Alien Warrior, and he's going to get 2 A counters in the process, and then she's going to go ahead and put A counters on the Hermitry and try to take control of it using Brainwashing Beam, because of course Aliens players have Brainwashing Beam when they set the full back row. They're so confident. But Rose Lover protects our Hermitry from traps, so it doesn't work, and we get a big nice chunk of damage, and this would be the end of the duel, and it wouldn't be so spy if she didn't have an enemy controller to block our Martial Leaf. And you think, oh, she only has 2, because remember, this is a dead card. She only has 2 cards remaining, but aliens, the strength of aliens, like the strength of the Crystal Beast, is just pulling cards out of the deck. So banishes the Ace Cell Recombination or the Overlord, and then removes counters, special summons Overlord. And of course, there's another warrior. So now, this would be lethal if we were playing a normal Sylvans deck. There's enough A counters, there's 2 alien monsters, there would be 0 attack and 0 attack, and then we have precisely 4,000 damage, but we have our back row. Back row protects us for a turn, and now we need to get all of these A counters off the field, because if this is her own, like Curse of Anubis, we are screwed. So we need to refresh our monsters. So Hermitry is going to give us a mill, and we just get that Martial Leaf. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing? So we're going to pop the Alien Warrior, and we are going to tribute. Now, the choice of tributes is very deliberate. We tribute the Hermitry, and we tribute the Carrot Weight Champion, the Carrot Lover, because while all of them have A counters, Hermitry has the most, and Carrot Weight Champion is gonna get refreshed. So here we can get rid of our final alien cell infected monster with Carrot Weight Champion's effect by trading in the infected Martial Leaf, and he can hang out with his boy. And then finally, the Tau of the Sylvans deck, the Rose Lover, special summoning a big giant plant, and we get one more excavation, and that gives us an Ancient Gear Golem, and we get to reorder the top cards of our deck. And here we have a trap-proof Hermitry, we have piercing damage, and we have Carrot Weight Champion. We have the full power of our deck assembled. And no matter what that face-down card is, we have a good chance. Ancient Gear Golem attacks for piercing, and that is our win. Thank you for watching.